Every year, thousands of workers are killed or seriously injured after being hit by forklifts and other heavy mobile equipment. Wellington company Scene Safety makes sensors to detect people in high-risk areas around these machines. And joining me now is co-founder and CEO Michael Scott. Well, welcome, Michael. Tell us a bit about
Thank you,
how the
Fiona.
company started out. You and your co-founder David Grove were looking to solve a problem in the hunting industry.
Yes, well, we've had quite a long and winding journey to get where we are now, and it started almost 10 years ago, actually. And we were looking to solve the recurring problem of hunters being shot by their mates in New Zealand, and we developed a world first sensor technology to for that problem, and we actually won the best design awards, Supreme Award for product design for that. And unfortunately, we really just couldn't, with that product, we couldn't overcome the mentality that this is a great product, works really well, be great for hunters who shoot each other, but I wouldn't do that because of A, B, and C, and it never really got past that point.
Were you two hunters
So
yourselves?
eventually,
Is that how you came up with the idea? Or?
we were, yeah, yeah, we were, but we'd come at it from a slightly more of a mountaineering technical background, and we just kind of thought, in these other pursuits, there's technologies used to help mitigate risk and prevent accidents and things. And we kind of thought, well, why isn't nothing being done for the hunters? So we tried. But unfortunately, commercially, the product was a success, but commercially it wasn't. And so we pivoted into the industrial area.
What made you decide to go to the industrial area?
As a result of some publicity for the hunting product on sort of the TV News, Campbell Live, those sort of programs. Some guys from a company called Waratah in Tokoroa saw it, and that's a John Deere owned company, and they had a particular risk in the forestry industry, and they commissioned us to develop a sensor to help mitigate the risk of that risk, which is called chain shot. It's when the chain breaks and fragments fly off at very high speed and can come through the cab and kill or injure the operator.
So how do the sensors actually work? How does the technology work?
And some sensors are a cross between like a LiDAR, if you're familiar with that, and which is like a light radar, and a laser rangefinder. So they're using a non-visible infrared laser, which illuminates the scene in flashes, and retroreflective material, which means it reflects light back to the source, such as the reflective tape on high-vis safety vests, returns the signal to the sensor that we then detect and we have some intellectual property around how we do that, but it provides very reliable detection, even if it's like completely dark or in bright conditions.
How competitive is this space? I mean, how many other sort of systems like this are you up against?
Historically, there's quite a few. I'd say around the world, 30, 40 even, and some have been around for quite a long time. The real thing that we wondered about when we got into this space was, given the scale of the problem, like there's thousands of people get hit by forklifts, and there's quite a few incumbent solutions, but why are none of those being widely used? That's the key question, and we quickly realized that they're just complicated, expensive, don't work particularly well, and there's nothing really scalable. And that's what we wanted to try and overcome, coming from a design perspective. What can we do to make it something that's easy, simple, effective to use, and also doesn't cost the earth?
And what's the take-up been like?
It's been really good. I think for the hunting product, we're probably 10, 20 years ahead of our time. But for this product, the market is really ready for it. The modern health and safety thinking acknowledges now people do make mistakes, and you have to accommodate for that. It's all very well saying you must wear a high-vis safety vest, you must do this, follow the rules, don't do that. But actually, accidents happen, and having these active controls is the key thing these days. So the market's very receptive, and all around the world. We're in over 20 countries now, and we're just getting really rapid pickup.
And in terms of what sort of impact did COVID have on both your business and workplace safety?
From a workplace safety point of view, it put a lot of pressure on the supply chain. So the companies that we work with were still operating. They were essential industries, but they were operating under more pressure and fewer staff. So more freight movement, but fewer people to do it, and it equals more risk. So from our perspective, we actually we've been really ramping up through that COVID area. So there's some supply chain disruptions for our own manufacturing, but nothing significant. But in terms of the companies that we're servicing, they were going hard out during that period.
You've just won Startup Company of the Year at the High Tech Awards.
Yeah.
What's been the biggest challenges in selling this IP worldwide for you?
I probably just finding the sweet spot for it. Like, it's been quite a journey, and we've gone through started with the hunting product, pivoted into the forestry industry, and then into where it's really best suited, but we didn't know that at the start. And so I guess being able to fund it right through those failures and pivots, being able to come through that and actually get to a point where you've got a viable, scalable product that's getting traction. So yeah, it was quite a difficult process.
How did you find the raising external capital side of it?
Well, we're mainly funded by Wellington-based angel investment, and through sort of over the years, we've got a good investor base that have been really supportive of us through all this, and some in particular, and that's really helped us to get through those points. And I think that originally for the hunting side of thing, that story was really emotional. We had some, it was really this visceral thing where people were killing their mates and being really torn up about it, and there was really interesting psychology around it. So the rationale and everything stacked up, people really bought into that, and it was just a pity that the market wasn't as receptive as we thought it would be. But now, yeah, we're glad to be in the position that we are now with the new tech product.
If you had a chance to have one gripe about government policy, is there anything that you'd like to see changed?
Well, we've been pretty appreciative of the support that we have got actually from the government in terms of like the investment funds and the R&D tax incentives and breaks. So no, I don't really have any complaints.
Do you think that workplace safety in New Zealand is up to scratch?
It certainly has its challenges. Like in the media, there's a lot of focus on the ports industry and somewhat forestry too, and we work quite a bit in ports. I guess there's always room for improvement. We've been working with WorkSafe on a roadshow, forklift safety roadshow, last year, where they were promoting ways to further improve safety. So I think there's always work that can be done.
And in terms of your own products, have you added anything, or you got anything in the pipeline in terms of R&D?
We have, yeah. We've just released a product which provides data to the sensor. So the sensor provides the immediate safety impact and the warning, but more sophisticated, larger enterprises all require data associated with that. So we're launching as an IoT Internet of Things type camera that connects anywhere in the world, uplifts information about each detection, and that's been very, very popular with health and safety managers who can now see what is actually going on behind their machines, sort of behaviour as done as opposed to behaviour as imagined, and it's quite eye-opening to them to see what's really happening. Yeah.
Have you got anything else in the pipeline?
We've got further iterations of our sensor hardware, and so we're evolving that and concentrating on just launching this new product now.
So what's the next step for Scene Safety?
We're expanding internationally, so our head of sales is just shortly be moving into North America. We'll set up a base in Houston there, so we're focusing on North American market in particular, so that's a major focus, and just expanding our international footprint where most of our customers are.
How did you feel when you won the award?
I was pretty stoked. I was actually overseas. I was at an airport. My phone was lighting up and pinging, and yeah, I guess we were pretty surprised actually, and yeah, delighted, but yeah, it's good recognition. It's been a long journey, and it's good to have recognition for that. It's sort of a bit ironic. We're not been around for quite a while, but we're still definitely going through that startup journey.
Right. Well, thanks very much, Michael Scott.
Thank you.